please make sure you do not do any of these 7 things if you plan to buy a home this year. I'm gonna list them out for you and make sure you don't miss the last one. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Conor Green. I'm a realtor and team leader here in Tampa Bay in Florida. I've seen way too many buyers' dreams get messed up and stalled and delayed because they make one of these mistakes and they do one of these 7 things that they just didn't know was bad and would affect their ability to get a mortgage. And then all of a sudden now they gotta wait another 6 months or a year. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 1, don't deposit any large sums of cash. Now, as you can imagine, lenders need to document everything and they need to be able to trace where cash is coming from. And so it's good to discuss with your lender that you got pre-approved from first, whether you plan to buy a home with, how you should document and deposit that money, and if there's anything else that they're going to need in order for that to not become a pain in the butt down the road. Number 2, don't make any large purchases. This is not the time to go buy your dream car if you want to buy a dream home, because I can guarantee you that is going to mess things up. This includes furniture, appliances, anything that you decide you want to pay a lot of money for. This could increase your debt to income ratio. So if you make $100,000 per year and you're spending $50,000 a year on expenses, well, your debt to income ratio is that $50,000 over the $100,000. Now, all of a sudden, you might not qualify for a loan at all. So please just wait on those. Number 3, do not co-sign on any other loans for people. You might have a friend or a family member who is also trying to make a purchase, whether it's an appliance or furniture or a boat. If you co-sign on that loan, you're making yourself also obligated for that loan being paid. And now that debt is going to be on your history and it's gonna affect your debt to income ratio that I was just talking about. So just don't do that. Number 4, do not switch bank accounts in this process. When you switch bank accounts and then you move funds around, again, the lender's gonna have to track things. And it just makes things a little bit more of a complicated spider web when you had all the money here and then you moved half of it to this bank account and transferred that part over here, and then you're still trying to track revenues and okay, but this part was this and that part was that. It becomes a little bit of a mess. And again, it's not just a mess for a lender, but it's also a mess for you. It's gonna take up a lot more of your time. It's gonna be frustrating. Just wait until after you buy the home to switch your bank account. Number 5, do not apply for that shiny new credit card that you get a request for to apply to in the mail. And it's not just those, but it's any of them. This one should be pretty obvious, but if you apply for a new line of credit, whether it's a HELOC on your house or a credit card or anything like that, it will show up on your credit report and it's going to affect your credit score. If it brings down your credit score, which it most likely will, it may either A, give you a worse rate and make the home more expensive when you go to buy it because the lender is going to look at your credit score and be like, they're not as reliable as they would be if their credit score was an 800 versus it's only a 700. And then number 2, if your credit score goes down a significant amount, you also might not even qualify for the loan, or you might only be able to do certain loan products and not do others. So again, just don't apply for any new credit during this period. Number 6, and this is a tricky one, do not close any accounts. This seems very counterintuitive, but if you actually close an account, which again, I don't even think this makes sense from my standpoint either. So if you close a credit card account thinking, I'm gonna close this line of credit, this credit card that I have with, let's say, Bank of America that I never use, and since I'm not using that credit, well, it should increase my credit score. I should be able to get a larger line of credit from this bank. I should be able to, afford more if I'm not using this card. Now, I would agree with you that that line of logic does make sense, but when you close accounts, it actually can negatively hurt your credit score. And again, if you negatively hurt your credit score, then both your rate could be higher and you also all of a sudden might not even qualify for the home. And then lastly, number 7, make sure that any changes that go on, you discuss them with your lender before you do them. I had a client once completely change his employment structure while he was in the process for buying a home, and he qualified before, and now all of a sudden the lender was having issues with it. So any changes, whether it's assets, liabilities, so liabilities are just debts, right? Or any change in your employment, income, any of that, discuss it with the lender first before you do it, just to make sure that you don't make a mistake that you're gonna regret. So there you go, guys. Those are the 7 things you need to make sure you do not do if you wanna make sure you can buy a home this year. If you do any of those 7 things during the process or right before it, it could really affect your ability to not only qualify for the home you want, but also get it at the right price when it comes to your interest rate. If you have any questions about these, go ahead and drop a comment below and I'll be sure to answer it. And let me know there too if you found this video helpful or if there's any other tips that you have for buyers who are buying a home this year. As always, if you like this video, it's a great way for me to know which kind of content I should continue to create for you guys. So please go ahead and do that. And if you're interested in learning more about real estate, whether it's specific topics like this or larger general ones, check out my YouTube channel or make more videos just like this. All super easy to understand and nice and straightforward. But that's it for me today, y'all. So until next time, this is Conor Green. Have a blessed day.